Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's your boy Team at ep.1 Gaming, and today we have these three Albaz structure decks that we're going to be doing a sealed only challenge. We have our sleeves here, and as well as our deck box, and of course shout out to Chewy for providing the extra deck sleeves. The Zeus looks amazing. Like I said, we're going to be doing a sealed only, or aka the journey. That's what it's called. Let's get into some of the rules. Alright guys, so first things first, I'm going to be playing with three Albaz structure decks. Obviously the branded cards. We're going to be making some mirror jades and things like that. But of course, so what we're going to be doing is we have a budget of $40. I believe we decided on $40 for the budget for the week to spend on sealed product, and then we'll put that into our new decks potentially. Now the way I want to do it is, if there's any leftover money, of course we can push it towards the next week, but we have to spend something. We cannot save the whole $40 for the next week. It's just, I want to have you guys potentially see new cards every time. Okay, so Alex is going to be doing the Dark World stuff, and for this week only, we're not doing locals. I mean, we kind of just got lazy. We just ended up not going, but definitely for the following week we're going to have some locals footage for you guys. So look forward to that. But it doesn't mean we're not going to be getting a duel. We're actually going to be getting a live duel between me and Alex, his structure decks versus my structure decks, and of course we're going to see how bad these decks are. They are pretty bad. But yeah, so look forward to that. I will have Alex's deck profile later. As of right now, we just didn't have time to get that done for whatever reason. But looks like I'm finishing up the deck here. Let's get into the deck profile. Alright guys, I've come up with the list that I'm going to be using moving forward. We got a 40 card main deck, 15 card extra deck, and a 15 card side deck. So starting with the main deck, of course we're going to be playing best normal summon slash special summon is the Springen's Kit. This card searches you any branded spell from your deck to your hand, also recursive from the graveyard, and then you put a card from your hand to the bottom of the deck. Right, so obviously this is one of our starters. It gets us Brand Infusion. Of course we're going to be playing 3 of these. And then of course our secondary starter would be Keeper of the Dragon Magic. Of course we're going to be playing 3 of these as well. Reason being, it does essentially the same thing. You discard a card to search a normal fusion card, which would be Branded Fusion, and that of course is our 1 card starter as well. And of course we are going to be playing 3 Albaz, because Albaz is a board breaker, and in this deck, believe it or not, you do need 3, especially starting off with the starter decks. You want to have access to all 3 of them, because I believe we will come up. Alright, and then instead of playing Pot of Extravagance that came in the structure decks, I actually opted to play 3 of the Shrouded Dragon. This card gives you a draw 1, but it's also very versatile in ways where it can give you access to a second interruption, and I'll show you guys that later when we get to it. But essentially it can be an extender by giving yourself a body, or it can draw you a card, but the most important part is that it puts your branded spells and traps in the graveyard for when you need them. Alright, now moving on to, I guess, the only hand trap I think we play is Effect Veiler. It's practically just a light target as well, but it is an effective hand trap in the deck. We opted not to play Ghost Ogre. I just felt like Veiler was more useful and more flexible in different matchups. And then we played 2 kaijus. The dark one, originally thinking of playing the light kaiju, but the body is just too big for us to beat over, so I decided to go with the dark one. It can out problematic cards and towers and things like that, so we went ahead and played that. Then we played again. We're actually playing the one Scythe. I am playing back to the front, so if I open that card, I will be sending Scythe off of Branded Fusion if I have access to it, and then we can Scythe our opponent that way. Alright, and then we played the 1 Mercurier. It's searchable off of Branded Lost, and of course if we banish it, we can get Springen's Kit or Albion to our hand. Okay, now that's it for the monsters. Let's go on into the spells. Playing 3 of the best 1. Obviously we're going to be playing 3 Branded Fusion. This card is the best card in the deck, hands down. It gives us all of our access to our extra deck, Alright, then we're playing 3 Dark Ruler, no more, some more board breakers. Playing 3 of these, I felt like this was probably the best board breaker if you have to be if you're going to be going second, if you lose the dice roll, things like that. So this with a kaiju, it's very useful. I think it's a very flexible card. It does suck when you're going first and you open multiples of these, but it is what it is. You know, there's always a con with any very strong card. So, and then I opted to play 2 branded in white. It's a poly, but it's also a Miracle Fusion. So this card is actually pretty good mid game. If you don't have access to Albaz and you have some in the graveyard or whatever the case may be, this can get you started. And then we do play the 1 gold sarcophagus. This is basically a starter. So you activate this, you banish the Mercurier. And the Mercurier will search Spriggan's kit, and then of course you can shuffle back the Mercurier with Rebellion or anything else like that. But this essentially is just to get the Mercurier. I was debating on playing a second Mercurier just because if you open this, you go through one, but it doesn't really come up that often. You'd rather make sure you have access to your branded fusion than having multiples of Mercurier. And then of course you play 1 branded Bloss because it is searchable. The card is very broken. It's Magical Meltdown, not letting your opponent respond to your fusion summons, and also your fusion summons cannot, the activation of your fusion summon cards cannot be negated. And then 1 called by the grave because it's at 1, and a very good card. Now that's it for the spells. We are playing a few traps. And like I said earlier, we are playing back to the front. If we open this card, we always go for the scythe play. So essentially you go Branded Fusion, send Albaz and Scythe. The only reason I'm playing this is because I felt like you need something gimmicky to be able to end games quickly. And speaking of floodgates, we were playing Dimensional Barrier. It's very hard for us, especially starting off, to be able to play on our opponent's turn. I know that when we get access to the Despia cards, we'll probably be taking this out, but drawing this can be very strong, especially in this format, stopping our opponent, and then we can just go ahead and play on our turn. That's pretty much the plan, especially since we don't really have a lot of ways to play on our opponent's turn as of right now. Right? Then we are playing 2 Screams of the Branded. So this card is essentially gives you a second Mirror Jade if they out it, or if somehow you had to use Mirror Jade, and it just reborns any of your fusion monsters. Is basically what I'm trying to say. So if you can reborn Mirror Jade with this, and then you'd be good to go. And then probably one of the more important cards is the 2 Retribution. It is a solemn warning, kind of like a Rukalos, but it also gives you your branded spells and traps from the graveyard to your hand, which can be very important. And we're playing 2 of them because I think we can afford to play 2 of them in this build, and it does come up where you need a second one, especially like mid game where you don't have any recursion anymore. So this card does definitely come up. Okay, so that's it for the main deck. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys would make any changes. But moving on to the extra deck, we obviously have a lot of space as of right now, so we are playing 3 Mirror Jade. You can kind of go crazy, make as many Mirror Jades as you want, and kind of be fruitful with them as of right now. Later on down the road, we're going to be more reluctant with our resources, and then of course we're playing 3 Lubellion, just because we have the space. I think in the future we'll probably be playing maximum 2, but definitely going to be playing at least 1. And then 3 Albion. This card probably will stay at 3 just because it's the one that gives us our follow-up for the following turn, and essentially just a good card overall. And then we play 2 Titanic Lad, being able to either summon the attack gain does come up, so this is kind of your out for attacking over big bodies. Then kind of a niche card. I actually kind of like this card. It's the Sprint. So this card is it does come up. Mostly you send it off to be able to get a hit from the deck to the hand, or summoning it, whatever you choose. But the effect to where if you ever able to summon this, you move it to pop the column. That actually does come up sometimes. That's pretty good. And then 2 of the Brigand, the Tri-Brigade one. This can search you the Mercurier if you need it, but also if you're able to summon it, it stops your opponent from targeting any of your other fusion monsters on the field. That effect doesn't really come up, but sometimes it does. Now let's go to the side deck. The side deck is like you can just literally put whatever. A lot of this stuff is like it's okay. It's not that great. But I guess the best deck in the side deck would be there can be only one. It's not great in every matchup, but in those matchups that it is great, this is a great card. And then we play 3 Waking the Dragon because we have the space and we're playing more of a control version anyways. So maybe games 2 and 3 we're able to summon Scythe out of the deck with this, or Mirror Jade from the extra deck. You know, it's very flexible on what you can do. You can even summon Albaz and then use away their field with Albaz effect when he's summoned. For going first, I would play Warning Point. This card is, it can come up, I guess. It's kind of like a no material, but as in a trap version. The good thing about this one, it does prevent link summoning, so I mean, I guess that can come up. And then we play the 3 Kaijus for going second if we need to see more. If we know our opponent is playing very hard hearts out, we can go over them with Kaiju. And then 3 Ogres because I mean, all of these cards, I guess, except for maybe Waking the Dragon, can be played in the main deck. It's just really up to you. But yeah, that's gonna be the profile. We're gonna be shooting over to a live duel really quick. Actually, shout out to Alex for being able to do this journey with me. We're gonna be doing kind of like a test run of the decks that we're playing. So this is the deck I'm playing. I'll get you guys his profile later. He's gonna be in the videos as well. So look forward to that. He's playing Dark World, which is a fun deck.
I don't know anymore. Go off, kill me. You like your range? Albaz. I'll change the future. Doesn't use his free start. Don't worry about that shit, bitch. Mind no business. He doesn't want me to get back to management because he doesn't want me to change it to fucking this card. He doesn't want me to play. Because he gets this card, whatever this card is, he can't. Oh, yes. He can't. He can't do that right now. Waiting on life. No, because you have to, if you don't use this muted, you have to discard. Wait, I think that you can like hit his resources. I think we do this. Discard that. Tap for 6. Wait, the battle piece here. Shut the fuck up, Now you tell me to shut up after all that coaching? He's like, I think I'll activate that. No, don't activate. Okay, but I wasted $20. Fuck that. It's $10 for 3 weeks. They charged 20 last time. Good, because nobody's going. Wait, yeah. Beach. Why are you always opening that fucking card, bitch? I fucking get it. The giant horse.
Let's go. Yeah. I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow when I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes.
God damn it! 2028. Where'd you go? Where's your band? You're going out. Oh, you're playing. Let me look at your list. Let me show you your brain. Let me show you your brain. What did you say? What did you drink my mouth? Did you drink my mouth? Let me show you your brain. You did drink it, didn't you? Good question. We're actually know if it's a mama because what the fuck is this extra there?
I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it
Guess who's black?
takes.
That one just reborns, right? Alright.
Let's go.
What?
Yeah. I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. Move slow when I move fast. And that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today.
I couldn't get to the car. No!
Cause that's what it takes.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. If you stayed this long, again, we'll have more content coming out, and I will have Alex's video coming out in the future as well. Well, not his video, but his deck profile for the Dark World deck. As you can see, it does look like a fun deck. We just got to get the ball rolling. As the weeks come, these decks are just going to get stronger, and they're just going to get better. But I'm very looking forward to this series. I've been wanting to do it for a while now, but I just haven't had the time. But I'm dedicating at least one day out of the week for a video for you guys, so that I can keep pushing out some content for you guys. So just stay tuned, hang tight, and we're gonna get this journey on the road. Episode 1 was very subtle, very smooth, very quick, and it's only just gonna get better from here, guys. So next week we're gonna be looking forward to some pack openings. I'm gonna be focusing on the Megatons for the 2022 because there's a lot of hand traps, power spells, and especially the Despia stuff in there. But again, if you guys want me to play a different version of this deck, please let me know. Other than that, this has been your boy T-Man repping Turn 1 Gaming, and we out, boys! See you guys next week.